Industry 4.0 has opened many different opportunities across multiple different industries, but regulatory oversight and compliance have slowed technology adoption in the life sciences. How can we combat these challenges? With the global disruptions today, it's as important as ever for life sciences industry to pave the way in technology adoption. Today, we're going to find out just how you can achieve that. Welcome to a new era, the future of life sciences manufacturing. We have a lot of great content for you today, and we're so excited for you to join us for the second day of our Agile Manufacturing series. You'll hear from industry experts about how they're using digital manufacturing to be more agile in their operations and to streamline compliance. We're so excited to have you today. And before we get started, I just want you to know that at the end of each session, you should navigate back to the schedule option in the platform in order to make sure that you are ready for the next session to start. Thank you again for joining, and without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to today's first session, Life Sciences Transformation 101. My name is Jen Diamond. I am the Product Marketing Manager here at Tulip, and today I'm joined by Gilad. Gilad is Tulip's Industry Practice Lead. He has over 30 years of experience in IT, automation, and engineering services delivery, technical operations, business development, and sales. He has a deep domain expertise in digital technologies and manufacturing business systems and has an accomplished track record of digital transformation with a specific focus in the life sciences industry. He has also served as an advisor in the areas of technology directions, industry strategy, and software implementations. Gilad started his career in academia and researching concepts and architectures for agile manufacturing systems, some of which are the architect for Industry 4.0 and Industrial IoT. So before I hand it over to Gilad, I just want to give an overview of the day. So today we're focusing on a new era, the future of life sciences manufacturing. And we have a schedule today full of great presentations and panels from industry experts who have a lot of experience and knowledge in digital transformation in life sciences industry. So we hope that you can attend a lot of the different sessions today. And at the end of this presentation, I'll give an overview of the agenda for the rest of the day. Also today, we're announcing new Tulip functionality for compliance reporting. So we've been working on this for the last 6 months or so, and based on feedback from life sciences customers, we have added a new history widget for digital history records, the ability to link records between two tables, custom date time formatting, and we've also updated our DXP features according to the GAMP5 framework, including access control, running apps securely on the shop floor, version control, permissions and approvals, audit logs, and e-signatures. We've also released several new example applications, including a few for logbooks and digital history records. So if you're interested in learning more about this set of new functionality, please be sure to watch the demo scheduled for later today. And with that, I'll hand it over to Gilad.
Thank you, Jen. Let's get into the presentation now. Okay, so to start off with, I'd like to take a look at a typical problem that we all have. And this is to exemplify some of this new technology and how we have to think about it from a paradigm shift. If we take, this is a picture that we really took from the Tulip office. The Tulip office that we currently have, as you can imagine, is pretty congested, or used to be before the COVID hit us. And we are around 60 to 70 people with only 2 bathrooms. And what happened is that the bathrooms are at the edge of the corridor, and you would have to go to the bathroom. You would walk down the aisle, only to find out that it's occupied and have to go back to your desk, which was inefficient, obviously. So as part of one of our hackathons, 2 of our bright engineers came up with an idea to put 2 IoT sensors with one of our gateways and connect it to our Slack, which is our communication tool. And basically, it just says if the door is closed and the bathroom is occupied. And what you can do is you can ask the app if the bathrooms are empty or not, and you can put yourself in queue in which you get notification if the bathroom is open. Kind of a trivial problem, but in fact is the same problem that we have in manufacturing from a planning and scheduling perspective. In manufacturing, if we would have the same, if we would consider the people going to the bathroom as work, and the bathroom is a piece of equipment that the work needs to be done on. If we think out of that perspective, what we would do is open up that Excel spreadsheet and make a plan. When everybody is supposed to go, each piece of work, each one of us as individual have to go to the bathroom, and I would probably get scheduled at 10:20. When then 10:20 comes around, guess what? I don't have to go to the bathroom. So I'll have to start looking for other people in the bathroom. So what happens when you do this type of bottom or top-down type of planning is that it assumes a very, very static world. But yet, when we do it for ourselves in a bottoms-up type of approach, we get what is called pull. But when we do it from a traditional approach, we do bottom-down, we actually get stuck in these very inefficient or very, very rigid systems. So really what it talks about is that in this new shift, in this paradigm shift that is coming around us, we actually have to turn things on their head. In the traditional way of looking at systems and planning and production, logistics, we have a very much traditional, very much a hierarchical top-down approach. We break systems down into hierarchies, and we have an assumption that things don't change after we made the decision of how we think they should work. In the Industry 4.0 environment, we're again looking at it very much from a bottoms up and looking at this motion or at this concept called emergence or emergent control. By letting people and letting machines interact at the lower level, we get a much more agile system. Control and the behavior of the system is emergent. It actually emerges as part of the interactions. It's a very important concept in agile manufacturing, a very important concept in Industry 4.0. And really what I'm trying to say is that we have to turn things on our head a bit. In the old way of thinking, we use hierarchies to break it down to applications, control devices. In the Internet of Things model, really it's about things, people, machines, equipment interacting with each other to achieve their goal. Now we don't have the traditional hierarchies of, I say hierarchies like, level 4, level 3. We have something called cloud and edge and fog. It's a very, very different approach. In the traditional approach, we have some things like ISA 95. We talk about top-down control. And most importantly, is that the systems that we build and solutions we come up with are very focused on the process. We look at the business process, we look at the manufacturing process, and we model, put master data in our systems to define what the process does. In fact, we don't even think about the human in that perspective. The human just has to use some interface to manage the process through the system. In the new world, we're going away from ISA 95. And that's a strong statement. ISA 95 has served us well, but unfortunately, and this comes from somebody who has actively been part of the ISA 95 standardization work, it's not valid anymore. We have cloud and edge. We have emergent control. And the last part, and I think most important, it's human-centric. We don't necessarily have to focus on what the process does. We have to focus on what the humans do in that environment. We have to enable them through digital technologies, and that's how we're going to get our productivity increase. And productivity increase is a very important component of all this. Because at the end of the day, why is all this Industry 4.0 and Pharma 4.0 interesting for us? Because it promises an order of magnitude in the productivity increase. That is what everybody's after. It's not that it's so cool to put AR and VR and look at big data. It's because it's going to help us do the work we're supposed to do quicker, faster, better, and better quality. And it's going to do that with an order of magnitude. And that is what is key to this. And so that productivity increase, that promise of productivity increase, that hockey stick, when are we going to get it? Really what we're trying to do is minimize that or get as quickly as possible towards that exponential growth of productivity with the digital tools. And it's all about risk versus reward. Right? I mean, we have some of these technologies that are new, and we have to take some risk in adopting them, but it's all about getting to that exponential growth. And so when we think about that, and we think about manufacturing, manufacturing hasn't changed. We still have a plant, and that plant needs to produce product, and the processes by which it produces the product, the API process, the packaging process, those are there. There are improvements to them, but really it is about, we have to understand what type of manufacturing we have, what type of plant we have, because then we can judge how these digital technologies can be applied to support our business model, right? And what we use is we use kind of a life cycle approach at a plant to try to understand what is most important in a plant. Just an example: if you are have a plant that really is about bringing new technology, it's getting the new COVID virus into production, cell and gene therapy, new medical devices, and you're pushing new products into your plant. Agility is very important for you. As we go through the cycle, and the next thing is, after we have a new product, we need to get our compliance, we need to get our plant licensed. After that, we need to get our quality in check. Once all of that, we need to start scaling up and getting volumes. At the end of the day, after it's a drug at the end of life, for example, it's important. Competitive is very important. We need to make sure that we can produce more and less. But those are important things to understand as we look at these digital technologies, as we look at which app we should be looking at first. This is really our map to a plant when we look at a plant. And when we look at a plant, the other thing that is very important, as I mentioned, is this bottoms up. When I go to plant leaders and ask them, all this great digital technology is here, what are we going to do? What are we going to use it for? What's the big thing that we can put this digital technology in place of magnitude productivity increase? And then the discussion starts about trying to find what it is. And really what happens is you get a very clear picture that it's not one big thing, but a lot of very, very small things. Small challenges, small things that need to be fixed, small improvement cases. A new machine needs to come in, the second shift doesn't do its job well, we have material variability, the line clearance is taking too long, we can't set up this machine properly because there's missing parts, all these things. So what we do is we take a look at all these problems, we prioritize them as based on your business objectives, and then we say, okay, we can build an app for that. We start building these apps bottoms up to address specific problems, and that is at the core of what we believe this digital technology can do for you. We don't have to go in and rip and replace and do this huge change in your plant. We slowly go into your plant and start looking at where the problems are and start applying digital technologies in a way that supports the operator, that improves the way he works, that gives him the data that he needs in order, again, to give that order of magnitude productivity increase. So as part of that, we have this, another very important part apart from the bottoms up is this notion of democratization. Technology, and especially digital technology, is easy to use. So one thing, obviously, is the operator has an intuitive interface that he uses that is connected with his physical world around him. But also the fact that to create this software can be done by anybody. Because if you recall from how traditional systems work, you have to have a very, very unique skill set that is hard to get. It takes a long time to skill yourself in it, and obviously these people are expensive. We're changing that all the way around. Digital technology is about democratizing things in the same way that you don't have to be a software expert or a mobile technician to use the cell phone. Cell phone is, for example, a modern mobile phone is very advanced, but you don't need to know anything about vision and cameras. And everybody from, even a young age can, within a few minutes, learn how to use it. It's intuitive, and even learn how to program it. To program that when I walk to my home, my IoT lock knows that I'm walking to my home and opens the door. That is a very simple setting that I can do on my mobile phone. I've democratized something that even 10 years ago would take somebody with a very high level of skill in automation to do something like that. And as I mentioned before, we're all about the human-centric. As I mentioned also, I think in my previous slide, in traditional technologies, we kind of moved the human aside and tried to automate the process. We were very focused on machines and putting people aside, and people had to use the technology as is. We used to say that you would adapt your process to what the system does. In the Industry 4.0, that is unthinkable. We have to create software that adapts to the people and adapts to the process. It has to be human-centric, otherwise we won't adopt it. And that means that we're actually taking the traditional technology stack and putting it on its head. It's not about looking at the process and understanding which tools we can use to support different parts of the processes. We're going down to the floor, we're going down to the operations, in the industrial operations, and looking at what people do, understand the use cases and how we can help them. We build apps based on the platform to support what they do, that are interconnected, that have the shared data, and can talk to all these other systems, and can collaborate with other systems. Simply bring a work order down to an operator who just needs to see the work order because he scanned it. report consumptions against material, because at the end of my run on the equipment, I want to tell the ERP system which materials have been used. And so on and so on. Equipment, logbooks, even just simple training, alerting about things that happen. That's what makes us more productive. Okay, so again, I hope this was an inspiring kind of introduction. What we'll do in the rest of the day really is trying to exemplify some of these new concepts and show you how some of our customers have used it, and show you how in the Tulip platform you can use it. Industry and Pharma 4.0 are upon us. It's becoming much more relevant. There is a whole horde of different information about it. The ISP annual event actually starts tomorrow. One of the reasons why we moved this to today on Monday. And there's many different sessions there around Pharma 4.0, including a session with me and one of our customers, Vertex, about how we did some of these things. So it's all exciting. Tulip is also very engaged in Pharma 4.0. We're involved and working on it. And there's going to be a session later today by Michelle, who's going to talk about Validation 4.0, which is part of the Pharma 4.0 initiative. So I think we have a very exciting agenda in front of us. And I'll give it over to Jen, who can walk us through some of the details here. So Jen, please.
Thank you so much, Gilad. So we have a very exciting agenda for today. So as you can see, we have a roundtable right after this, and that is with GSK on Johnson & Johnson, also Factory Talk, just talking about moving to a digital culture within life sciences, and Gilad is actually moderating that session. And then we have a session with Michelle, who will be talking about Validation 4.0 and fueling digital transformation. We'll then have a quick coffee break where there's a video about our new app library, and you can learn more about that and about the apps that we have there for life sciences. And then for the afternoon, we have AWS joining us for a discussion around the myths and realities of industrial cloud. We then have a demo, and that will be showing the new functionality that's available today. And then we'll end off the day with an integrator session with our trusted partners, Seabrook and Sequence, who will be talking about stories of digital app adoption in life sciences. Well, thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you find the rest of the day very insightful and useful. Thank you. And thank you, Gilad.
Yeah, welcome everybody.